Part 44. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 431. Yeah. The two answered in unison. Li Yuan took Zhong Tingyu and Bai Wuxi, two girls, to visit the other 9 stores, and then went shopping in Longjia building, and went to another company of his. He waited until 10 o'clock in the evening, when the milk tea shop closed, and listened to Su Yunting's report again. Mr. Li, Mr. Zhong, Mr. Bai, our 10 stores sold 72,566 cups of milk tea on the first day of opening today, and the total sales reached 955,450 yuan. Li Yuan was very satisfied when he heard the first day data. If the raw materials and labor costs are removed, the sales of 955,450 can at least bring more than 500,000 net profits. This is because he is more particular and uses high-quality raw materials. For example, for every cup of milk tea sold in other milk tea shops, the raw material cost and net profit are at least 1:2, or even higher. Milk tea shops are profitable, and it is not just talk. Li Yuan waved his hand and made a decision directly. Not bad, very good, we achieved a good start on the first day of opening. Tell all the front-line employees today that each person will be rewarded with a performance bonus of 500 yuan, which will be distributed within this week. Let everyone continue to work hard and always remember our slogan, using the best milk tea, the best service, and the best service for you. Mr. Zhong, you will guide the distribution of cash rewards. Hearing that Li Yuan casually rewarded 20,000 yuan, Su Yunting was shocked by Li Yuan's generosity. He thought to himself that he had followed the right person this time. With Li Yuan's financial resources and capabilities, Chayan Use will definitely become the most well-known milk tea brand in China in the future and will become a benchmark for enterprises. And she herself will not only become famous because of this, but with Li Yuan's generosity, he will definitely not treat herself badly. Besides, her own salary level is already a leader in the same industry. Even Zhong Tingyu, she has long been accustomed to Li Yuan's generosity, and she was secretly shocked when she saw Li Yuan's domineering reward. According to the salary offered by Chayan Use to frontline employees, although it did not reach the monthly income of over 10,000 yuan, the various benefits added up to 7,000 to 8,000 yuan. This salary level is already the ceiling salary level in the service industry. In the next few days, as Chayan Use continued to ferment in the fan group and on the internet, the brand effect became more and more exaggerated. Especially after some female fans won Li Yuan's autographed greeting cards and autographed books in the lottery, they aroused great enthusiasm in the fan circle. In order to support Li Yuan, they wanted to win the legendary Ultimate Prize concert tickets. They all tried their best to support Li Yuan and mobilized their classmates and friends to buy. For these fanatical star-chasing girls, a concert ticket can buy hundreds of cups of milk tea, and the milk tea can also be given to classmates and friends. In addition, the taste and quality of Chayan Use are indeed top-notch among similar milk teas, which has greatly gained a lot of goodwill. In the next 3 days, the sales of Chayan Use were also in a stage of daily increase. After the first day's sales of 950,000, the second day's sales reached 1.1 million because of the early opening, 1.3 million on the third day, and 1.35 million on the fourth day. On the internet, some people have given Li Yuan the new title of Prince of Milk Tea. Star River Bay, Villa number 16. Li Yuan, Zhong Tingyu, and Bai Wuxi are discussing the expansion of the milk tea shop. Xiao Yu, Xiao Bai, now our Chayan Use brand has been initially established. Next, I plan to continue to take advantage of this favorable wind to continue to expand the scale and increase the number of stores. What do you think? Zhong Tingyu agreed with Li Yuan's idea. Now the Chayan Use milk tea shop is obviously in a high-speed growth trend. It is normal to take the opportunity to expand the scale. Senior, how many more stores are you going to expand? Li Yuan thought about it. The Magic City is very big, and the consumption capacity is unquestionable. It can be ranked among the best in the world. Based on the size of Shanghai, I plan to expand 30 more stores, occupy all the core areas of Shanghai, and completely occupy the high-end milk tea market in Shanghai. If the development prospects are as we expected, we will continue to expand to major cities such as Suzhou, Hangzhou, the capital, and Jinling next year. 30. Isn't it a bit too much? Zhong Tingyu asked in surprise. Now Chayan USE already has 10 stores. If it continues to expand 30 more, there will be 40 stores. As a milk tea shop that focuses on the high-end route, she is not sure whether the consumption potential of Shanghai can support so many milk tea shops. Li Yuan smiled and said, 30 is not a lot. Once the brand effect is established, the business will only get better. Also, never underestimate the consumption power of Shanghai Nesset. The milk tea market is now in a period of rapid development. Once the development model of our Chayan USE is spread out, there will definitely be followers. So we must first seize the market and find a good location. Zhong Tingyu smiled sweetly, okay, you make the decision. Li Yuan added, as the scale of Chayan USE expands, our company's operations must also be formalized, and the goal is to become a listed company. When you have time, you too should learn more about the company structure and learn more about this aspect. It will be useful in the future. Bai Wuxi tensed her body, pointed at herself in surprise, and asked doubtfully, do I want to study too? Li Yuan nodded affirmatively, that's for sure. Although our family only has one technology company and one milk tea company now, we will definitely have more industries in the future. I am too busy by myself, so I need you. A few people around me can help me. Especially Xiaobai, you majored in accounting. This task is very important. From now on, you have to gradually get in touch with and understand the finances of each company, and manage the money bag for our family. Before, because there was no profit, all I got from the stock market or from writing, so I didn't have high financial needs. Zhu didn't generate much profit either. But it's different now. The milk tea shop makes millions every day. When we continue to expand and develop in the future, this number is likely to reach tens of millions or even hundreds of millions. Xiaobai, your mission is very important. Listening to Li Yuan's words, Bai Wuxi's spirit was shaken, his beautiful eyes flashed with happiness, and there was only one voice in his mind. He has me in his heart. This made Bai Wuxi's sad and gloomy mood suddenly disappear, and the whole world returned to bright colors. She looked at Li Yuan solemnly, brother, I will definitely work hard and won't let you down. Li Yuan smiled, I believe you, don't put so much pressure on yourself. In college, you still have to focus on studying. Yeah, brother, I understand, Bai Wuxi replied sweetly. Looking at Li Yuan's handsome and confident face, her heart suddenly moved. The scene on the birthday night suddenly appeared in her mind, and she secretly watched it with her peripheral vision. Eyes bright, cheeks slightly red. In the past few days, she had been looking for an opportunity to test Zhong Tingyu to see if she was willing. Li Yuan felt a little baffled when he saw Bai Wuxi suddenly blushing shyly. Could it be that she had also been infected by Xia's hygiene and turned into a shy person? Let's take a look at the map of the city and where to place the newly opened stores. I think you can consider that next to various universities, the consumption power of college students is very high. There are also densely populated primary and secondary schools next to various schools, and others are in major high-end shopping malls and pedestrian streets. The class committee of Computer Class 1 is having a heated discussion because of the first class autumn outing the day after tomorrow. Dong Su, the Communist Youth League secretary, had a loud voice and was the first to object. I don't agree to continue to raise fees. The class fee of 100 yuan per person is already very high. As you all know, Some students in our class have very difficult families. For an autumn outing, the class fee is raised to 200 yuan. Then let's not do this autumn outing. Study committee member Liu Yongjiang's answer was much more tactful. Squad leader, I think we should think of other ways. The class fee of 200 yuan per person is indeed too high. Then what do you think we should do? The monitor frowned slightly at Tan Yangkaiu, her voice mixed with a bit of helplessness. She thought it would be easy to be a monitor at 985 University, but it was not. The students of 985 University are all the proud sons of heaven. Who has not grown up with the praise of whose child is this? After entering the relaxed environment of the university and letting one's own nature be released, it becomes even more difficult to command. Everyone has their own ideas, and everyone is proud to stick to their own ideas. It is really difficult to unify the opinions of the whole class. Just like this autumn outing party, everyone was in favor of it, but where to go and how to charge it became an issue and we argued for a day or two. Dong Su suggested, in my opinion, it's better to lower the level a bit. Don't think about going to such a high-end place. Just find a place to get together and have a good time. What Brother Dong said makes sense. With limited funds, you don't necessarily need to pursue such a high grade. Liu Yongjiang smiled playfully, staring at Xiang Tan Yangkai's beautiful face, feeling a little itchy. In computer class 1, Xiang Tan Yangkai's appearance was second only to Xia's Haijin's. Because she didn't have a boyfriend, she was secretly loved by many boys. Xia's Haijin, who is not like a mortal girl, has a boyfriend like Li Yuan who beats other boys to guard her. They can only focus on Xiang Tan Yangkaiu and Wang Zhirong, two girls with similar looks. Sports committee member Ren Jun, who had been silent until now, suddenly said something. Ahem, I think we all have forgotten someone. As soon as Ren Jun spoke, everyone else present looked at him, waiting for an answer. Ren Jun shrugged and joked, there is a billionaire in our class, why not go to him to sponsor it? As soon as Ren Jun's words came out, several people's eyes lit up. Dong Su curled his lips, he is so busy every day that he rarely comes to class and doesn't interact with us very much. Who has the nerve to talk to him? Liu Yongjiang gestured to Ren Jun and said with a smile, Brother Jun, don't you have a good relationship with Li Yuan? We often play together. Go and talk about it. If he agrees to sponsor, nothing will be a problem. Ren Jun shrugged again and laughed at himself, I am a big boy, how can I have the nerve to speak? Besides, I am just a sports committee member, so my name is not justified. I think if I were to challenge squad leader Qin, with Brother Yuan's boldness, he would definitely agree immediately. After hearing what Ren Jun said, Dong Su, Liu Yongjiang and other class committee members also joked and asked Xiang Tan Yangkaiu to take action. Squad leader, if a beautiful lady like you comes forward, Li Yuan will be completely fascinated and will definitely agree. Yes, 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 squad leader, if you come forward, it will be the most suitable. We are grown men, and Li Yuan will not give us face. Xiang Qin Yangkaiu listened to the people's booing, and his beautiful eyebrows like silkworm leaves slightly wrinkled. He glanced at the people in front of him, and the figure of Li Yuan appeared in his mind. Finally, he nodded and agreed. I'll try it first, but it may not guarantee success. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 432. On Friday morning, Li Yuan drove Xia's Haijin back to school in a Lamborghini sports car. Suddenly, a phone call came in with a familiar number. After Li Yuan connected, there was no sound from the other side, which made him very puzzled. Hey, who are you? The voice on the other end of the phone seemed a little awkward. Li Yuan, this is Xiang Tan Yangkaiu. Oh, monitor. Li Yuan suddenly realized that the phone number was so familiar to him. At the beginning of the class meeting, she had publicly written it on the blackboard, but he didn't write it down. Li Yuan asked again, "What do you want from me?" Xiang Tan Yang Kai's voice was a little uneasy. "Well, are you free now? I have something I want to tell you in person." "Tell me something." Li Yuan was slightly startled, and a ridiculous idea suddenly appeared in his mind. Could this beautiful monitor want to confess to me? As soon as this idea came into being, Li Yuan quickly got rid of it. "If you really think this way, then you will really become a shrimp-headed man. He doesn't think that all the girls in the world will like him when they see him. He is not RMB. Li Yuan said calmly, "Okay, I'm downstairs in the girls' dormitory." Xiang Tan Yang Kai quickly replied, "Oh, wait a moment, I'll come down right now." After a while, Li Yuan saw Xiang Tan Yang Kai walking over. Her figure and face were actually very good. If it weren't for Xia's Haijin's presence, she would be at the class beauty level. It's a pity that after having 4 school beauty girlfriends, Zhong Tingyu, Xia's Haijin, Bai Wuxi, and Zhang Ziyu, he is now a bit face blind, and his appearance towards girls has been improved many times. Only the 4 beauties of their level could make him take another look. Xiang Tan Yang Kai came to Li Yuan and greeted with a somewhat nervous expression, "Hello, Li Yuan." "Captain Xiangqian, do you have anything to do with me?" Li Yuan asked straight to the point. Seeing that Li Yuan was so straightforward and went straight to the topic, Xiang Yang Kai first smoothed his hair, then lowered his little hands, pinched the corners of his clothes, and spoke hesitantly like a nervous and shy little girl. "Li Yuan, it's a bit presumptuous to mention this. We are going on an autumn outing at the weekend, and there is a slight deviation in the budget, so I want to ask you to praise." Xiang Tan Yang Kai was a little embarrassed to ask. This was the first time she had asked to borrow money since she was a child. "No, just ask for alms. I still ask my college classmates for alms." I felt ashamed and wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into. When Li Yuan listened to Xiang Yang Kai's unfinished words and her shy and embarrassed expression, he understood what she meant by meeting him in person. "This is where I came to seek alms for myself." Speaking of which, he was still a little surprised that he was now a somewhat famous billionaire. "No one came to me to solicit sponsorship." In his previous life, when he was at Shanghai University of Technology, he had worked in the student union's publicity department for a period of time, and had the experience of shamelessly seeking sponsorship from businesses. I agreed. How much difference is there? Chapter 250 Sexy Tutor Meeting Late at Night. Hearing Li Yuan's straightforward answer, Xiang Yang Kai's little head was in a daze. She hadn't finished speaking yet. Li Yuan answered directly, "I agreed." How much difference is there? Even though she had long heard that Li Yuan was very generous, a top second-generation rich man and a veritable billionaire, she was shocked at this time. Is this how rich people behave? Really comfortable? In his mind, thinking about the situation discussed by several class committee members last night, Ren Jun, Dong Su, and others joked that as long as they take action, they will definitely be able to capture them. For some reason, Xiang Tan Yang Kai's cheeks suddenly became a little shy. Li Yuan, don't you think about it?" Li Yuan smiled, "Serving the class and sponsoring some extraneous things, what do you need to consider? By the way, I've been quite busy these days, so I don't know where you guys have decided to go for your autumn outing." The sun rises slowly in the sky, and a ray of sunshine shines on Li Yuan, who is leaning against the Lamborghini sports car. Li Yuan's tall figure and handsome face are bathed in the light rain. Xiang Tan Yang Kai felt that his little heart was suddenly beating abnormally. "We have discussed going to Suzhou to see Suzhou Gardens and appreciate the scenery of Jiangnan." "Oh, go to Su City," Li Yuan suddenly thought of something, and a scene flashed in his mind. When Xiang Tan Yang Kai saw Li Yuan's expression, he suddenly became nervous. "Don't you like it?" Li Yuan smiled and shook his head. "No, I just thought of something else. By the way, how much is left in the budget?" Give me your card number and I'll forward it to you. Xiang Yangkai looked a little embarrassed and said a number. 5,000. 5,000, Li Yuan looked slightly startled. He thought that Xiang Yangkai would say tens of thousands. You are a billionaire with a net worth of over 100 million, and you, a beautiful class monitor, come to me personally to solicit sponsorship, and ask for 5,000. Who do you look down on? Li Yuan muttered in his heart. Of course, this was just his self-mockery. Each person in the class has received a class fee of 100 yuan. As an activity fund, the lack of funds is not much. According to the standard of 200 yuan per person, we can have a good day. However, I guess I am not too comfortable playing. Li Yuan didn't bother to ask more questions. Several class committee members had already discussed the matter, so there was no need for him to point fingers. Okay, send me the bank card number when you come back. Seeing Li Yuan agreed, Xiang Qin Yangkai replied gratefully, yes. Li Yuan, thank you. You're welcome, it's my duty, Li Yuan replied casually, and seeing Xiang Qin Yangkai still standing in front of him, he asked casually. Squad leader, is there anything else? Xiang Qin Yangkai glanced at Li Yuan's face, her cheeks slightly red, mixed with the morning sun and rain. It was very beautiful. She asked shyly in a low voice, well, tomorrow, will you go? Li Yuan replied casually, it depends on the situation, the company has just opened, I'm busy recently, I may not be able to go. If I have time, I will go with everyone. Seeing the shy expression of the beautiful squad leader, I felt a little strange. What's wrong? Why do you look shy all the time? Is it so easy to be shy when facing myself? Li Yuan felt a little puzzled. Hearing Li Yuan's ambiguous answer, Xiang Qin Yangkai felt a little inexplicably disappointed. She didn't know what happened today. After seeing Li Yuan, she completely lost her previous sobriety. Maybe Li Yuan has been too dazzling recently. The milk tea shop he opened has also become popular on the internet in the past few days. I heard that there are many people queuing up every day. Xiang Qin Yangkai glanced at Li Yuan. Oh, if you go, tell me in advance. Li Yuan said lightly, yeah. Xiang Qin Yangkai saw that Li Yuan didn't want to talk more, and felt a little disappointed. She wanted to take this opportunity to talk to this legendary classmate again. Then you go first, Li Yuan, thank you, I will send you the card number later. After Xiang Qin Yangkai left, Li Yuan shook his head secretly. He didn't mean to put on airs and give an ambiguous answer, but he was really busy recently. He really might not have time to go. The Chayan USE milk tea shop has just opened and is preparing to continue large-scale expansion. There are many things that need to be done by him personally, and he can't just leave them all to Zhong Tingyu, an 18-year-old girl. Unlike Zhu and King of Glory, the Chayan USE milk tea shop is his first real profitable industry. And according to the market reaction in recent days, it has already established a brand of high-end milk tea in the Magic City area. Of course, the most important factor is that Chayan USE is the industry of him, a celebrity, so it is so popular and has a natural brand added value. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 433. In the past 2 days, according to Su Yunting's report, fans from surrounding cities have come to Shanghai just to check in. Li Yuan drove a sports car and came to Longjia building in a flash under the envious eyes of college students. He has made appointments with several real estate companies to see the new stores. He has discussed the specific layout of the 30 new stores for expansion with Zhong Tingyu, Bai Wuxi, and Su Yunting, and decided to locate them near universities, shopping malls, high-end residential areas, etc. Now he is looking for new real estate resources. In addition to the 30 stores, Li Yuan is also preparing to purchase another office building as the national headquarters of Cheyenne USE, and the grade must be raised. Li Yuan came to Datang Technology Company and looked at the progress of various items. After a while, suddenly, he received a QQ message. It was sent by the beautiful squad leader. Li Dakeze, this is my card number, Construction Bank 623-4567. Thank you. Shy expression JPG. Li Yuan looked at the message sent by Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu, but did not reply. He directly opened the online banking and transferred 10,000 yuan to this account. After a while, Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu sent a new QQ message. Li Yuan, did you transfer the wrong amount? Only 5,000 is enough, surprise expression JPG. Li Yuan looked at the message sent by the beautiful squad leader, smiled indifferently, and replied directly. Make it an integer, and the extra amount will be used as class fees. Xiang Qin Yang Kai looked at Li Yuan's reply and didn't know what to say in his heart. 10,000 is an integer, so 5,000 is not an integer? How can it be rounded up like this? Suddenly, a strange idea emerged in Xiang Qin Yang Kai's mind. Is it because of me that he is like this? Silly girl, what are you thinking about? How could someone like an ugly girl like you? Xiang Qin Yang Kai thought about the peerless beauty of Xia's Haijin, Zhong Tingyu, Bai Wuxi, and others, and sighed inexplicably in her heart. After seeing the beauty and figure of Li Yuan's girlfriends, most girls probably find it difficult to have other thoughts. Of course, except for the other girl in the class. However, she also heard that Li Yuan doesn't care about that girl at all now. Xiang Qin Yang Kai thought about it for a long time, and then her cheeks were slightly red, looking at the QQ message. Li Yuan didn't send any other messages. Xiang Qin Yang Kai replied with a little disappointment in his heart. Yeah, Li Yuan, thank you. Happy JPG. Li Yuan looked at the reply, smiled, and didn't continue to reply. He had no interest in this beautiful class monitor at all. After a while, a phone call came in, and it was from the real estate company that had cooperated with Li Yuan many times before. The other party was very strong. He just told them the requirements and the situation, and the other party replied that they could meet Li Yuan's requirements. When Wang Jun saw Li Yuan, he looked extremely respectful. He already knew what Li Yuan was going to do by buying so many stores. The popularity of T-Color and Moonlight made him feel a little dumbfounded even if he just took a quick look. The spending power of these female fans is really terrifying, completely unreasonable, as if they have lost their rationality. Mr. Li, these are some houses provided by our company for narcissism. Except for a few places that have not yet found houses, the others have found the corresponding houses according to your requirements. Wang Jun handed the prepared house brochure to Li Yuan respectfully. This was made overnight after they received Li Yuan's request. Li Yuan scanned it carefully and said calmly, "It looks okay, take me to the site to have a look." Wang Jun quickly replied, "Okay, Mr. Li." For the next half day, Li Yuan has been running around to check the specific conditions of each store provided by the real estate company. Daxia University, Comprehensive Administrative Building, University Student Entrepreneurship Office. Chi Siyu held the guitar and hummed a song softly, with a boy's figure in her mind. Later, I never saw such a beautiful sunset. It's dark, the shadow will disappear at the intersection. Waving, gentle but still accompanying me sleepwalking. It's the evening breeze, the stars, and the song I hummed. After a long time, Chi Siyu stopped plucking the strings, picked up the phone, opened the contact line, stared at Li Yuan's phone with a dazed look, and was very hesitant. Since that day in the Hermes store, she happened to meet Li Yuan and his girlfriend. These days, she forced herself not to contact Li Yuan, wanting to forget this absurd idea. She told herself again and again in her heart, self-hypnotizing. He was her student, he had several girlfriends, he was a philandering scumbag. He was not suitable for her. However, every time she wanted to forget Li Yuan, the absurd scene in the office would appear in her mind. Also, the few lines of the song he wrote for her. Today was her birthday, and while most of the other people in the office building had left, she couldn't help but hold the guitar and hum those lyrics softly. Thinking of the exclusive songs that Li Yuan wrote for his girlfriends on different occasions, singing them affectionately, she felt sour in her heart as if she had eaten a lemon. This carefree little bastard, even though he was willing to use his mouth, he was not even willing to write a complete song for himself. After taking advantage of him, he seemed to have disappeared from the world and never contacted him even once. Chi Siyu muttered to herself, "You little bastard, you haven't given me all the songs you promised me yet." At this time, there was the sound of tapping footsteps outside the door. Before the door could be knocked, the voice of my best friend came over. Liang Jingjing seemed to be entering her own office, she just pushed the door open without even knocking. He shouted at Chi Siyu. "Siyu, why are you still sitting here? Today is your birthday. Come with me quickly. Sisters will take you to go cool. There are many handsome guys." As Liang Jingjing spoke, she glanced out of the corner of her eye and saw the contact number on Chi Siyu's mobile phone. This familiar name on the phone has been bombarding her ears continuously for the past few days, and she has already heard it like thunder. Liang Jingjing snatched Chi Siyu's phone from her hand and joked with a weird expression. "Siyu, are you still obsessed with that playboy scumbag?" Being guessed by her best friend, Chi Siyu's cheeks turned crimson and she wanted to snatch the phone back, but Liang Jingjing easily dodged it. "Hee, Siyu, you haven't answered me yet." Liang Jingjing looked at Chi Siyu's expression and knew she had guessed correctly. My best friend looks very sexy and mature, looking like a mature woman who has experienced a lot. In fact, this is really just the appearance, the inside is completely different from the outside. "Oh, I understand. Today is your birthday. You wouldn't want to invite this scumbag to spend your birthday with you, would you?" Chi Siyu looked annoyed and snorted, "No, Jingjing, give me your phone back." Liang Jingjing curled her lips, "Tisk, Siyu, we have known each other for so long, and I still don't understand you." She knew this duplicitous best friend so well that she could sing the lyrics Li Yuan wrote for her. Liang Jingjing looked at Chi Siyu, who looked shy, with a cunning look in his eyes. He looked at Li Yuan's mobile phone number and laughed devilishly. "Hey, let me call him for you." With that said, Liang Jingjing directly pressed the dial button under Chi Siyu's horrified eyes. Chi Siyu was startled by her best friend's actions. "Jingjing, what are you doing? Hang up quickly." Liang Jingjing watched the phone call being dialed, pressed the speaker, and snickered at Chi Siyu when the call was connected. "It's late, it's already connected." Before he finished speaking, Li Yuan's slightly tired voice came from the phone. "Hello, Teacher Chi." Chi Siyu looked very panicked when she heard Li Yuan's familiar voice on the phone. The blush on her cheeks instantly climbed from her cheeks to her ears, and then to her snow-white neck. Before she could answer, she heard Liang Jingjing begin to answer. "Li Yuan, your teacher Chi has his birthday today and invites you to attend. If the confession fails, chase her bestie." Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 434. On the other end of the phone, Li Yuan looked a little surprised. This voice sounded familiar to him. He had seen her twice. Chi Siyu celebrates his birthday and invites himself to attend. Li Yuan was a little surprised, but he still asked, this teacher, where is Teacher Chi?" "She's next to me." "Siyu, your little lover is looking for you." Liang Jingjing was very bold and didn't shy away from it. She directly handed the phone to Chi Siyu. Chi Siyu took her phone with trembling hands, looked at the call display with blushing cheeks, and explained in a panic. Li Yun, don't listen to Jingjing's nonsense, today is not my birthday. Li Yun could tell that Chi Siyu's voice was trembling. Just as he was about to answer, he heard another woman's voice coming from the other end of the phone. Li Yun, Siyu is telling the truth. Today is her birthday. She wants to see you. Come here quickly, otherwise your beautiful teacher will fall into the arms of someone else. Hearing Liang Jingjing's bold words, even Li Yun, who was not Chu Ji but had experienced hundreds of battles, was shocked for a moment. I'm just a freshman, but you two girls are both university teachers. How can we have such a lively conversation? Li Yun, don't listen to her nonsense. It's not what you think. Chi Siyu quickly and shyly explained that she should have hung up immediately, but for some reason, there was an idea in her heart that inexplicably stopped her from hanging up the phone. Listening to Chi Siyu's explanation, something strange flashed through Li Yun's heart. For this extremely sexy instructor Yuji, after experiencing that strange third kind of contact in the office that day, if he had no thoughts about her, then it's just self-deception. Every scumbag with a normal body and a carefree mind would have a hard time resisting this extremely special temptation. Blessed by various identities and appearances, this kind of attraction between the opposite sex is, in a certain way, more attractive than some pure and beautiful little girls. Just like some senior scumbags who have various collecting habits, different types of beautiful girls want to try it out. Li Yun is no exception. With his thoughts moving, Li Yun smiled and asked. Oh, today is Teacher Chi's birthday. As a good student, I must go and congratulate you. Teacher Chi, where are you celebrating your birthday tonight? I'll be there in a minute. Hearing that Li Yun was really coming, Chi Siyu became even more panicked. Before she could speak, Liang Jingjing, the best wingman, had already answered before her. Li Yun, your teacher Chi is still waiting for you at school. Come quickly and pick her up. Chi Siyu rolled her eyes at Liang Jingjing and explained in a panic, Li Yun, there is no need to come over, we are not in school. After saying this, Chi Siyu plucked up the courage and hung up the phone with great reluctance. After hanging up the phone, Chi Siyu suddenly felt a sense of loss and emptiness. She glared at Liang Jingjing angrily and said coquettishly, Jingjing, it's all your fault. You're talking nonsense. I'm so embarrassed. Liang Jingjing joked disapprovingly, Siyu, my best friend can do it. I served as your wingman for once and fulfilled your wish. You have to thank me properly. Chi Siyu glared at Liang Jingjing fiercely, Humph, thank you for what? Thank you for making me such a big embarrassment. Liang Jingjing hugged Chi Siyu's arm and deliberately rubbed against her very large Xiongdaxian sister. He smiled and joked, Siyu, how about we make a bet? Chi Siyu snorted, if I don't gamble, I will lose every time. Liang Jingjing seemed to have guessed Chi Siyu's reaction, and said with a smile, let's make a bet on whether Li Yun will come to pick you up. I bet he will come. Do you dare to bet once? Chapter 251 Chi Siyu, do you mind having another girlfriend? Liang Jingjing looked at Chi Siyu with a confident expression. She had also learned a little about Li Yun from the side about this man whom her best friend could not forget. There is no doubt that he is talented. Whether it is music, writing, or business, he is very outstanding. He is good-looking and genuine. He is about 1.8 meters tall. He can beat the military training instructors in push-up competitions during military training and is stronger than ordinary sports students. It is well known that he is rich. The luxury cars he gave to his two girlfriends in finance have become a beautiful sight in the school. His playfulness must be obvious. He can be exposed as having 4 girlfriends at the same time, 2 of which are roommates. If he didn't count his playfulness, he would be a good man all over the world. Liang Jingjing took another look at her best friend's appearance and figure, which looked like a sexy and mature royal sister. Even though she is a woman, she can't help but want to hang out with her every day. She couldn't believe it. With such a piece of meat right in front of her mouth, that playboy scumbag wouldn't be able to resist eating it. There was 100 disbeliefs in her heart. The blush on Chi-Siyu's fair and sexy face was still there, her heart was beating wildly, her sexy and seductive body was tense, and she stared at her best friend nervously, asking anxiously. Jing Jing, he won't really come, will he? Liang Jingjing looked at her best friend's expression and knew that she was definitely looking forward to Li Yuan's arrival. Silly girl, do you know what you look like now? Chi-Siyu raised her head and blinked. What does it look like? Liang Jingjing pursed her lips and snickered, like a little girl falling in love for the first time. The shy little girl look like you, coupled with the sexy and mature face and figure like you, is really a contrast. It's really interesting. I really want to hold you and give you a kiss. Chi-Siyu's eyes were stunned, and she rolled her eyes at Liang Jingjing shyly. She didn't know the reason. The more she got to know Li Yuan, the more she was attracted to him. Especially after entering work, it becomes even more obvious. Li Yuan was like a bright rising sun, strongly attracting her attention. No, I don't like him, I just want him to finish writing that song for me, Chi-Siyu muttered to himself, forcing himself to give himself a reason. See you, Li Yuan will be here soon. Do you want to touch up your makeup first? Then think about where to celebrate your birthday tonight. Liang Jingjing joked, her eyes already eagerly awaiting what kind of birthday gift Li Yuan would give Chi-Siyu. At the Hermes store that day, she saw with her own eyes how generous Li Yuan was spending money. Although they are official counselors at the university and are considered to be in the professional establishment, it is still difficult for them to meet top rich second-generation people like Li Yuan. For example, Associate Professor Peng Cheng, who had been chasing Chi-Siyu, was already considered a leader among many suitors, but compared with Li Yuan, he was beaten down in all aspects. By the way, Professor Peng doesn't seem to know that today is Chi-Siyu's birthday, because she celebrates it according to the lunar calendar. Chi-Siyu was still a little uneasy and whispered softly, what if he doesn't come? Liang Jingjing put her arm around Chi-Siyu's shoulders and assured her, I dare to guarantee you that he will definitely come. Damn it, quickly put on your makeup, and then think about where to go on your birthday date. Yeah, Chi-Siyu hummed shyly. He glanced at the asphalt road outside the window, full of anticipation for the next meeting. She hadn't seen Li Yuan for more than 10 days since their last brief meeting at the Hermes store. Occasionally I go to the computer class, but there is no sign of Li Yuan at all. After Li Yuan hung up the unexpected call, he came to Wang Jun and said hello. Manager Wang, let's just see this for today. I have something else to do later. Wang Jun quickly nodded respectfully, okay, Mr. Li, you go ahead and I will be here when you are free. Li Yuan smiled, suddenly thought of something, and said casually, by the way, help me see if there are any better villas, preferably undecorated rough houses. Mr. Li, I will give you an answer as soon as possible. Wang Jun answered immediately, but his eyes suddenly lit up, and he felt a little strange. Li Yuan was young and had already bought 8 or 9 houses. Why did he buy so many houses? Could it be said that housing prices in Shanghai will rise sharply in the future? Is this big star in front of me investing in real estate? If that were the case, it would be necessary for him to buy a few more houses. He believed in Li Yuan's vision. After the king's army leaves? Li Yuan thought that he wanted to drive a Lamborghini sports car directly to pick up teacher Qi, but then he thought that there was a woman next to Chi-Siyu, and the sports car could only seat one more person, which was a bit impolite. He returned to the villa first, changed the sports car into a BMW, and drove towards the school. On the way to school, Li Yuan was also thinking about how to face Chi-Siyu. Although this sexy goddess's appearance is slightly worse than that of Zhong Tingyu and Xia's Haijin, if you add in her figure and status, her attraction to many men is no less attractive than Zhong Tingyu and the others. He himself was a little confused. Why was this sexy instructor suddenly interested in him? It feels a bit strange. When he faced Wang Zhirong, he had a completely different perception. Both of these two girls had K at XJ for him by accident, and they could be considered to have had close contact. Although Big Bear Girl also dresses very sexy, her appearance is inferior to Chi Siyu's, and she doesn't have Chi Siyu's naturally sexy royal sister style. Ahem, of course, there is another factor that all men understand. After that day, Wang Zhirong often wanted to date him, but he refused for various reasons. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 435. If he gets closer to Big Bear Girl again, he feels that he is likely to be raped by Big Bear Girl. After Li Yuan arrived at the school, he drove directly to the comprehensive administration building. Looking at the office by the window, Li Yuan dialed Chi Siyu's number. The cell phone rang only 3 times before it was answered. Li Yuan said calmly, "Teacher Chi, I'm downstairs at the complex, you guys come down." Okay," the voice on the other end of the phone was flustered and obviously surprised. After a few minutes, Li Yuan was sitting in the car when he saw 2 familiar figures walking towards him. Li Yuan got out of the car, walked towards him, looked at Chi Siyu in front of him, and looked at Chi Siyu from top to bottom with aggressive eyes. Chi Siyu is about 1.66 meters tall, wearing casual cropped trousers, revealing her snow-white slender ankles, and a white collared shirt underneath. She has a pair of bears, big bears, and 2, who are particularly lively and full, ready to come out. Wearing an off-white suit and small high heels, she looks like a sexy and mature workplace lady. Li Yuan smiled and said, "Hello, Teacher Chi, long time no see." The lingering on Chi Siyu's cheeks, she glanced at Li Yuan a little shyly, forced her heartbeat to slow down, regained her composure, and explained in a calm tone. "Li Yuan, I'm sorry, Teacher Liang made a joke and asked you to come here specially." Liang Jingjing saw that Li Yuan had already arrived in front of her. Chi Siyu was still speaking harshly and couldn't help but joke. "Siyu, you are such a tough talker. It's obviously what you want to see." As he spoke, he looked at Li Yuan carefully. Seeing that Li Yuan was a head taller than the 2 of them, with a handsome and burly figure, and dressed like a shopping mall boss, his heart moved slightly, and he looked familiar, and joked. "Classmate Li Yuan, you came here very quickly. Do you also want to see your dear teacher Siyu?" Li Yuan smiled and glanced at Liang Jingjing. Her figure and appearance were considered to be above average. But standing with Chi Siyu, it feels like flowers and green leaves, a complete foil. Li Yuan replied with a smile, there was something going on in the company. When I heard the 2 teachers summoning me, I put everything aside and rushed over. Liang Jingjing had an expression that said, "You are very knowledgeable." She pursed her lips and chuckled. "Today is your teacher Chi's birthday, Mr. Li, why don't you express your gratitude? Where are the flowers? Where are the gifts? Where are the hugs? Where are the kisses?" Listening to Liang Jingjing's shocking words, Li Yuan suddenly coughed and almost spit out the green tea he just drank. "Is it appropriate for you, a university teacher, to spread rumors about a student and your best friend?" Chi Siyu wanted to stop Liang Jingjing's mouth immediately, and her cheeks, which had returned to normal, were suddenly filled with blush. "Jingjing, can you stop talking nonsense, otherwise I will be really angry." After saying that, he explained to Li Yuan apologetically, "Li Yuan, this is her character. Don't take it to heart. Your company's business is important, so get busy with business first." Li Yuan laughed dumbly when he heard Chi Siyu's duplicitous answer, and joked casually. If teacher Chi doesn't want to see me, then I'm really leaving, right? Listening to Li Yuan's answer, Chi Siyu's head was confused. He just said it casually, which was reserved for girls. You just said you wanted to leave? Didn't you see that I walked down the stairs so quickly just to see you? Seeing Chi Siyu speechless and with a confused expression on his face, Li Yuan laughed and said jokingly. It seems that teacher Chi doesn't really want me to leave. Chi Siyu blushed and wanted to continue to be harsh, but was interrupted by Liang Jingjing's voice. Tisk, 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 Li Yuan, Siyu, you two, stop fighting here, the air is a bit sour. Li Yuan, drive like crazy to celebrate your teacher Siyu's birthday. Li Yuan smiled, opened the car door, and made a gesture of invitation. Teachers, please get in the car. Chi Siyu glanced at Li Yuan and said nothing. If today was not her birthday, she obediently sat in the passenger seat with Liang Jingjing. Liang Jingjing got into the car, sniffed her nose, and joked. Tisk, Li Yuan, how many girls are there in your car? I can smell several perfumes. Li Yuan doesn't need to pretend, he has already gained a reputation, and everyone knows that he is a playboy. While starting the car, he replied, not much, including the two teachers, it is less than double digits. Tisk, tisk, girls in double digits, Liang Jingjing tisk tsked in surprise, thinking, Li Yuan is honest enough. Li Yuan glanced at Chi Siyu and asked, teachers, where are we going now? Where is your birthday party held? Chi Siyu said sheepishly, well, there's no birthday party, just the three of us. Li Yuan was startled and felt a little incredible. There were only 3 people including him. What do you call a birthday? He thought that, at the very least, a table of people would get together to have a meal together. Chi Siyu has just started working for less than a year. In Daxia University and the Magic City, it is impossible that he does not have other classmates and friends, right? By the way, where did she go to college? Where is her home? Li Yuan muttered that he had no idea at all. Liang Jingjing joked, Li Yuan, aren't you honored? Apart from me, your best friend, Siyu is the only boy who invited you. Li Yuan smiled, then I'm really honored. Teacher Chi, Teacher Liang, where are we going now? Chi Siyu was slightly panicked, and she didn't know what to do now. Generally speaking, if it's a birthday, do you have to go to dinner first? Just as she was trying to organize her words, Liang Jingjing had already spoken first. Li Yuan, you are more familiar with magic than we are. You just have to make arrangements. I believe you will be able to give your teacher Siyu an unforgettable birthday memory. Seeing Chi Siyu and the other two, it seemed that there really was no arrangement, so Li Yuan could only make arrangements on his own initiative. Fortunately, in his 2 lifetimes combined, he had celebrated a girl's birthday more than once, so he was already familiar with it. Okay, teachers, just follow me. As he said that, he stepped on the accelerator, and the engine roared, but unfortunately it didn't have the deafening roar of a sports car. Li Yuan drove directly to the Oriental Pearl TV tower next to the Bund on the bank of the Huangpu River. As a landmark building in the Magic City, it houses a comprehensive large-scale shopping mall integrating fashion entertainment, bars, restaurants, shopping, hotels, etc. Li Yuan had visited the Magic City several times in his previous life. When he first arrived in the Magic City in this life, he brought his parents and Li Zixia with him. I also came to experience and play. Seeing Li Yuan coming directly to the Oriental Pearl TV tower, Liang Jingjing cheered up. Naturally, she and Chi Siyu had been here before, and it was so magnificent that they were dazzled by it. Li Yuan, you are good at choosing a place. It's not bad here. Liang Jingjing held Chi Siyu's hand, looking very excited. Along the way, Chi Siyu also gradually regained her composure and became the sexy royal instructor she was before. She smiled brightly at Li Yuan and joked. Great talent, Li, can you lead the way? Li Yuan smiled and looked at his watch. It was just 6 o'clock in the afternoon. It was still a little early to go to dinner. Li Yuan suggested, teachers, let's go shopping first and then eat. Shopping? Chi Siyu looked startled, pursed his lips and chuckled, great talent, Li, you are a grown man, do you like shopping like us girls? Li Yuan thought to himself that if he had no money in his pocket, no boy would like to go shopping, but if he had money, it would not be so uncomfortable to go shopping with a beautiful woman. I'm not in a hurry. I didn't have time to buy a gift for you, teacher Chi. Let's go shopping together. Li Yuan smiled domineeringly, buy whatever you want today, I'll pay for it. Chi Siyu blinked her eyes after listening to Li Yuan's generous answer, and joked. Mr. Li is really powerful and domineering, I give you a thumbs up. Hey, he is indeed the famous Mr. Li. His words sound like a business tycoon. Liang Jingjing smiled and joked, pulling Chi Siyu and shouting excitedly. Siyu, Mr. Li has said so, what are we waiting for? Let's go shopping together and make Mr. Li bleed. The two girls happily walked along the bund, enjoying the scenery and shopping in the mall. Li Yuan followed the two teachers in a leisurely manner. With Li Yuan, a billionaire, by their side, Liang Jingjing and Chi Siyu also became bolder, and it was a joy to browse various luxury stores. However, Li Yuan was a little puzzled. He even said that he paid for it, but Chi Siyu always gave various reasons and did not buy it immediately. This surprised him a little. For a mature lady like Chi Siyu who is already working, he would not think that she could win just by virtue of her own temperament and unwillingness to spend money. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 436. Li Yuan joked, Teacher Chi, do you girls only like shopping and don't like buying things? Chi Siyu blinked her beautiful eyes, rolled her eyes at Li Yuan charmingly, and said coquettishly, we girls enjoy the fun of shopping, and we don't have to buy anything. Just like you boys like playing basketball and playing games, they are also hobbies. Li Yuan laughed dumbly. Chi Siyu said that there was nothing wrong. If a girl doesn't like playing games, sports, reading, etc., she can't always stay at home in a daze, she always has to go out for a walk, and shopping is a very common hobby. However, this hobby is a bit expensive. Not to mention top beauties like Chi Siyu, even ordinary girls shopping occasionally buy some goods that may not be indispensable. Because of different hobbies, the consumption capacity of men and women on general retail products is also completely different. Li Yuan asked, Teacher Chi, today is your birthday. I came in a hurry and didn't have time to buy you a gift. Do you want me to help you pick a few? As soon as Li Yuan opened his mouth, Chi Siyu's eyes lit up and her heart beat. She stared at Li Yuan with her beautiful eyes and teased, it seems that Li is very good at picking gifts. Li Yuan shrugged and teased himself, that's not true. I have so many girlfriends and often go shopping with them. I have practiced it. Chi Siyu chuckled. She didn't expect Li Yuan to answer like this. Humph, he is really a famous playboy in the school. He is so confident to date several girlfriends at the same time. Li Yuan sighed narcissistically, there is no way, he is just so excellent. Chi Siyu looked at Li Yuan's narcissistic appearance and wanted to ask in her heart, do you mind having another girlfriend? If the two were alone, she wouldn't mind teasing Li Yuan. But looking at her best friend beside her, the words were already on the tip of her tongue, and she swallowed them again. Liang Jingjing pouted on the side, Li Yuan, you are the most narcissistic boy I have ever seen. Li Yuan laughed, this is not called narcissism, this is called self-confidence. Confidence is the best quality of a person. If other boys said this, Liang Jingjing would have to call him a puxin man, but Li Yuan said this, there is no problem at all. The nature of human beings is double standards. Thanks to the 1000 points rewarded by the Big Brother Du Bulletin VSSS. Chapter 252 Temporary Girlfriend, do you have to fulfill your girlfriend's obligations? Li Yuan discovered a very real phenomenon. When a boy is full of confidence and talks nonsense about girls, he will be particularly attractive to girls. Girls generally say that this kind of boy is humorous, funny, and can provide emotional value. On the contrary, they have a good impression of you and even lick you. If a boy with the same conditions is sincere, loyal, caring, considerate, and meticulous, and revolves around a girl every day, you will most likely only receive a good guy card that is regarded as a licking dog or spare tire. Because you lower your own value. Regardless of gender, human nature is mostly the same. Those who are favored are always fearless, and those who favor others often lose all over. Even if there are exceptions, there are not many. Li Yuan is in this mood when facing Qi Siyu, so he has no scruples when speaking. In the LV store, Li Yuan generously pointed to the exquisite bags on the shelf and said with a smile, "Teacher Qi, do you like any of these? If not, let's change to another store." Qi Siyu looked at the luxury bags in front of her. Each one basically started at more than 10,000 yuan, and some limited editions were her annual salary. Qi Siyu's eyes stayed on a beige women's bag for a moment. She liked this style more. Before she could speak, the female salesperson of the LV store, who had already trained a pair of sharp eyes, immediately took the beige bag and handed it to Qi Siyu. "Beauty, this bag is our LV's new autumn model, which suits your temperament very well. Would you like to try it?" Qi Siyu took it generously, tried it on her body, and liked it very much, but was too embarrassed to name it directly. She looked at Li Yuan and asked for his opinion. "Li Yuan, what do you think of this?" Li Yuan smiled and nodded, and praised Qi Siyu fiercely, "This bag is not bad, it matches your temperament very well, and it feels like a female star. If you change into a dress, you can go to Cannes to walk the red carpet." Qi Siyu chuckled and glared at Li Yuan shyly. When the LV salesperson saw Li Yuan agreed, he immediately realized that the opportunity had come, and he praised Qi Siyu fiercely. "Beauty, your boyfriend's vision is really great. You are really more beautiful and more elegant than those female stars on TV, and your figure is really well maintained." When Qi Siyu heard the words "your boyfriend" said by the female clerk, her face flushed, but she did not object and directly agreed. Li Yuan looked at the LV salesgirl with appreciation. This young lady still knows how to read people's expressions. He was very satisfied. "Ahem, Siyu, if you like it, buy it." Hearing that Li Yuan even changed the way he addressed her, Qi Siyu's heart was pounding, her face suddenly looked good, and she nodded gently. Li Yuan gestured to the LV salesgirl, "Pack this bag for me." Seeing that Li Yuan bought it without even asking about the price, the LV female clerk was overjoyed. She was indeed right. The handsome guy wearing luxury brands in front of her was indeed a rich second generation. "Okay, sir, please wait a moment." Liang Jingjing was trying on a new bag aside. When she saw Li Yuan and Qi Siyu, she bought a new LV bag in just a few words and couldn't help but sigh. As expected of Mr. Li, the first thing he sells is LV bags, without even asking about the price. Liang Jingjing looked at the bag in her hand fondly. "Hey, I'm so envious. People also like this bag, but it's a pity that I can only look at it. There is no tall, handsome, rich, talented, gentle, and considerate, domineering, mature, humorous, and popular person like Mr. Li. My boyfriend, who loves flowers, bought them for me." Listening to Liang Jingjing praising himself in various ways, Li Yuan showed a playful look on his face. The intention of teacher Liang was also very obvious. If it had been before, he would have definitely stayed away from this kind of green tea-like woman. But this time, the situation is a little different. Seeing that she had given him an assist and thought of so many words to praise him, Li Yuan didn't mind giving him an extra bag. I spend money, I am happy, what labor and management pursue is a spiritual happiness. A billionaire must also behave like a billionaire. He waved to the female LV store clerk, motioned for her to come over, and coughed lightly. Ahem, wrap up the bag in this beauty's hand for us too. The female LV store clerk glanced at Liang Jingjing and Li Yuan in surprise, feeling a little confused. Could this ordinary-looking girl be the girlfriend of the handsome guy in front of her? A little hungry, right? Or is it just for the sake of face? However, no matter what, a boy who is willing to spend money, especially a boy who is willing to spend money for a girl, is a good man in her heart. When Chi Siyu heard that Li Yuan was also going to send a bag to her best friend, she opened her mouth and was about to say something, but when she saw that her best friend had jumped up for joy, she swallowed the words back. She and Liang Jingjing have known each other for many years, so they naturally understand her better. Her personality is very lively, but she is not particularly money-worshipping. Always save money and buy expensive things. This is also a common problem among most girls in Shanghai. No one likes comparison, but many times, we are always comparing ourselves with each other. Even herself. At this time, if I try to stop myself from speaking out, my best friend will have nothing to do. I saw Liang Jingjing with a surprised expression on her face, and she quickly came over, stretched out her arms to hold Li Yuan's arm, rubbed it with her plump xiong, stared at Li Yuan with all kinds of amorous feelings, and said with a very exaggerated expression, "Mr. Li, if you don't mind, I am your girlfriend now." Li Yuan was dumbfounded by Liang Jingjing's enthusiasm. He retracted his arm tactfully and joked casually. "Teacher Liang, why don't you rob your best friend's boyfriend?" Chi Siyu laughed after hearing this and joked towards Li Yuan. "I don't mind." "Right, Jingjing." Liang Jingjing also nodded with a smile, "I don't mind either. Siyu and I have known each other since high school. We sleep on the same bed and I know her size." "Hee, Li Yuan, do you want to know?" "I can tell you secretly." Chi Siyu's face suddenly turned red. She waved her pink hands and quickly blocked Liang Jingjing's mouth. "Damn girl, can you stop talking nonsense? This is a public place." "Hee, what can't you say? With your size, Li Yuan can see it even if he's not blind." Liang Jingjing looked like a dead pig who is not afraid of boiling water. "Li Yuan, let me tell you secretly, Siyu's is bigger than those of your other girlfriends." Li Yuan smiled and glanced at Chi Siyu's budding Xiong sisters from the corner of his eye. He had actually measured their sizes with his own hands. "Hey, no, it seems that my size has been measured by the other party himself. If the confession fails, chase her bestie." Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 437. One measures by hand, the other measures by mouth, the effect is the same. Ahem, do you guys see anything else you like? Li Yuan coughed, "Let them continue talking, and don't go shopping or eat, just find a hotel." Liang Jingjing wanted to speak, Chi Siyu quickly pulled her, blocked her mouth, and smiled apologetically at Li Yuan. "Li Yuan, it's okay, I'm sorry for the expense." Li Yuan was slightly surprised. He was happy today, and he didn't want a free gift? Really not. Chi Siyu nodded seriously and joked, "Well, it's okay, thank you for the gift from my boyfriend." Li Yuan laughed, "Haha, okay, I'll be your temporary boyfriend for a day today." "Just temporary," Liang Jingjing joked. "Siyu, are you going to give Li Yuan a day of probation?" Chi Siyu's cheeks flushed slightly, and she looked at Li Yuan deeply, and replied meaningfully, If someone writes me the song he owes me, I will consider letting him become a regular employee. Li Yuan looked at Chi Siyu from head to toe with an aggressive gaze, thinking about the charming scene in the office that day. Her unfamiliar skills made him feel unsatisfied when he occasionally thought about it. Especially in an occasion like the school administration building, with someone like Chi Siyu, who has a special identity, he satisfied the evil thoughts hidden deep in his heart. The special experience has been maximized, very nice. Chi Siyu was stared at by Li Yuan's meaningful gaze, feeling like she was being stripped naked. She felt strange in her body, which made her involuntarily clamp her slender and plump thighs, rolled her eyes at Li Yuan, and hummed proudly. Li Yuan joked meaningfully, "If the person you mentioned gives you the complete song, will you, as a girlfriend, fulfill your girlfriend's obligations?" Chi Siyu understood Li Yuan's implication, her heart was pounding, her cheeks were slightly red, she looked at Li Yuan with a smile, and replied. "That depends on how someone performs. He, if you perform well tonight, it's not impossible." Liang Jingjing listened to the two people talking in silence, and asked in confusion. "See you, Li Yuan, I always feel that you two are talking about something inappropriate for children. Could it be that something happened between you two that I don't know about?" Chi Siyu looked at Li Yuan with a slightly red cheek. There were indeed some inappropriate things between her and him. Li Yuan coughed, "Ahem, if you don't want anything else, I'll pay the bill." Chi Siyu shook her head and said, "I really don't want it." "Okay." Li Yuan responded and walked towards the cashier. Liang Jingjing held Chi Siyu's arm with a puzzled look on her face and followed. At the cashier counter, the LV female clerk had already packed two new bags. "Sir, these two bags, one is 56,888 yuan, and the other is 38,999 yuan. How do you pay?" Li Yuan took out a black bank card, which is a VIP card of CCB. Only when the capital verification reaches more than 10 million yuan can it be used, and some special services of CCB can be enjoyed. Every bank has such a VIP card, and even higher level bank cards, which are also a symbol of identity and status. The female clerk of LV is obviously knowledgeable. They are engaged in the luxury goods industry, observing words and expressions, and understanding the VIP card information of major banks. These are all basic lessons that must be learned. He took the bank card and gently swiped it on the POS machine, and 80,000 or 90,000 yuan was spent. "Sir, it's already paid." Li Yuan took the bank card, casually put it into his wallet, looked at the two teachers, and said with a smile, "You won't let me carry the bag, right?" Chi Siyu and the others saw that Li Yuan didn't blush and casually spent 80,000 or 90,000 yuan to buy bags for the two of them. They looked at each other and were a little shocked. Each of their annual salary couldn't buy these two bags. Chi Siyu took the new bag and snorted at Li Yuan, "As a boy, can't I help my girlfriend carry a bag?" "Okay, that must be okay," Li Yuan smiled, stretched out his arm, and gestured to Chi Siyu. Chi Siyu glanced at Li Yuan, shyly walked to his side, and put her arm around Li Yuan's arm, just like a real boyfriend and girlfriend. Seeing this, Liang Jingjing wanted to put her arm around Li Yuan's other arm, but seeing Li Yuan tightly closed his arm, he curled his lips and muttered. After leaving the LV store, the three of them continued to stroll around the Bund for a while, experiencing the prosperity of the Magic City, and then climbed up the Oriental Pearl TV tower and strolled around for a while. "See you, Teacher Liang, are you really not going to buy anything else?" Li Yuan asked. He was a little hungry. Since he had promised to celebrate Chi Siyu's birthday today, he was not going to be stingy with money, just as a reward paid in advance for Chi Siyu to fulfill her girlfriend's obligations. Chi Siyu still shook her head firmly. She didn't want Li Yuan to think she was too materialistic. However, there was another thing that she had been looking forward to in her heart. "Boyfriend, can you give me the other thing you promised me? Li Yuan knew what Chi Siyu was talking about and smiled at her. Girlfriend, I know you are anxious, but don't worry, you will get what you deserve. Li Yuan looked at the revolving restaurant in front of them and smiled at the two of them. It's 8 o'clock in the evening, let's eat first. Chi Siyu looked at the revolving restaurant in front of her. She had heard of this place. This is one of the most luxurious restaurants in Shanghai, with a high consumption level. Shall we eat here tonight? Li Yuan nodded. Liang Jingjing joked with a joyful look, tisk tisk, following Mr. Li, you can really eat delicious food and drink spicy drinks. In the revolving restaurant, the three of them ate Western food, top-grade fuzu weijiao, French foie gras, Russian caviar, and red wine. Wow, is this the life of the rich? It's too luxurious, isn't it? Liang Jingjing looked at the food in front of her and exclaimed. Mr. Li is really generous and domineering. Li Yuan smiled and said, see you, it's your birthday today. I found out late and prepared it hastily. I hope you don't mind. Chi Siyu was about to answer and say that she was very satisfied, when she saw Li Yuan clapping his hands at a waiter, signaling him that he could start preparing in advance. Chi Siyu and Liang Jingjing stared at Li Yuan in surprise, wondering what he was doing. Mr. Li, do you have any other preparations? Liang Jingjing was surprised to see Li Yuan's mysterious look. Chi Siyu seemed to have thought of something, and stared at Li Yuan with expectation. Li Yuan smiled mysteriously, wait a moment, the answer will be revealed soon. Chapter 253. Tonight is another sleepless nighting. While shopping, Li Yuan greeted the people in the restaurant in advance and prepared a simple birthday ceremony. As long as there is money, these are not a problem. In Chi Siyu's expectant eyes, a relaxing and pleasant music rhythm suddenly sounded. Then, a cake cart full of cakes and flowers was pushed in front of the three people by a group of young waitresses in birthday suits. Looking at the extremely delicate cakes on the cake cart, as well as the flowers and gorgeous lights, Chi Siyu covered her mouth, her heart was full of excitement. She thought she would not be able to eat birthday cake today. Unexpectedly, Li Yuan had also prepared in advance. The waiter carefully pushed the cake and flowers onto the table and sang the birthday song in unison. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Li Yuan took out a beautifully wrapped gift box from the flowers. This was the birthday gift he bought when he passed by a jewelry store when he went to pick up Chi Siyu. Li Yuan handed the gift box to Chi Siyu and said with a smile. Siyu, happy birthday, I wish you eternal youth, constant smile, and all the best. Chi Siyu covered her mouth with excitement, looking at the gift box handed over by Li Yuan, staring at Li Yuan in a daze, her body trembling slightly with emotion. Seeing this, Liang Jingjing, who was sitting next to Chi Siyu, couldn't help but feel envious. Li Yuan was indeed a philandering scumbag who knew how to make girls happy. This kind of unexpected surprise that was thought to be absent in advance but suddenly came can provide great emotional value. She originally thought that Li Yuan would not prepare these, after all, the notice was relatively hasty. Seeing her best friend in a daze, staring at Li Yuan, she quickly touched Chi Siyu's waist with her arm. Chi Siyu suddenly came to her senses, her eyes sparkling with sparkling light, staring at Li Yuan, thanking him with a shy little girl's expression. Li Yuan, thank you for your birthday gift, I like it very much. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 438. Li Yuan smiled and joked, Siyu, don't you open it and take a look, what did I give you? Chi Siyu murmured to herself, I like whatever you give me. Zi Wikiang said this, Chi Siyu still stretched out her slender hands to untie the colorful wrapping rope on the gift box. After removing the box cover, what caught his eye was a string of sparkling diamond necklaces. In the red silk, they looked like stars in the sky. They were so dazzling that Chi Siyu could hardly open his eyes. Wow, Tiffany's diamond necklace. I saw this necklace online a few days ago. It's really beautiful. This necklace seems to cost 109,999 yuan. Mr. Li, you are so arrogant. You are so kind to Siyu. I am jealous of you. If I were Siyu, I would definitely be so moved that I would marry you immediately. Mr. Li, do you really not think about having more girlfriends? I am very good and obedient. Liang Jingjing on the side began to play the role of wingman again, cheering in surprise and joking on the side. Li Yuan gave Liang Jingjing an approving look. The bag was not given away in vain, and it could still be used as a cover. As for being a girlfriend, forget about it. If your looks are not good enough, just pass. He is not Jingdong Lu. He is really face blind and cannot tell the difference between beauty and ugliness. His aesthetics have always been online. Those who are beautiful are beautiful. For example, he will not be tempted by some female celebrities who he does not think are beautiful even if they are sent to him. There is a saying. Just like what Mrs. Wang said about Sister Suyuan on the Matchmaker. I just want young and beautiful ones. Chi Siyu stared at Li Yuan foolishly, looked at the exquisite necklace in the gift box, and looked at Li Yuan shyly. Li Yuan, can you put it on for me? Li Yuan smiled, of course it's no problem. He stood up, took out this necklace worth 6 figures, opened the buttons, and came to Chi Siyu. Facing her, smelling the alluring scent of her perfume at close range, the two of them pressed closely against each other. Li Yuan could even feel that the Xiong sisters from Chi Siyu's family were already lingering at the door of his house. When Li Yuan buttoned Chi Siyu's necklace, suddenly, I felt that my neck was suddenly hugged directly by a pair of arms as white as jade. Then, before he could react, a pair of sexy and alluring red lips quickly pressed against her. Teacher Chi, Li Yuan was shocked. He didn't expect Chi Siyu to be so bold and dare to offer a sweet kiss in front of everyone. Her best friend was still sitting nearby. Li Yuan Gang was about to speak. I felt like my mouth was blocked by a clever and lively snake, which forced its way into my mouth. Since Chi Siyu, as a university teacher, doesn't care anymore, what else does he have to care about as a playboy and a scumbag? He directly hugged Chi Siyu's small waist with his backhand, keeping her close to his body, turning passivity into initiative, and focusing on a defensive counterattack. Liang Jingjing looked at the scene in front of her, sighing with emotion, and whispered in a low voice. What a pair of infatuated men and resentful women. They started kissing right away. I thought they would have to wait until they were in private. Tisk, tisk, depending on how invested you two are, if there was a bed, you two would definitely have an in-depth communication from a negative angle right there. After Liang Jingjing sighed for a few words. Suddenly I thought of something and took out my mobile phone. Facing the two people who were kissing, I took a photo and recorded the scene. Hee, let me record it for you first. When you recall it in the future, you can look at the photos to prove it. You're welcome. My name is Lei Feng. I like to help others the most. I feel like someone is taking pictures. Li Yuan and Chi Siyu involuntarily let go of each other and looked at each other. Chi Siyu lowered his head with slightly red cheeks, and his heart was beating fast, as if he was about to jump out. Liang Jingjing continued to tease without restraint. Tisk, Siyu, how does it feel to kiss? Have you kissed enough? If not, let's take Li Yuan home and continue kissing. Chi Siyu blushed and raised her pink fist, ready to hit him. Liang Jingjing continued to joke with Chi Siyu while laughing and joking. Hee, I'm serious. Seeing how devoted you two were just now, I'm really afraid of what you two are doing where you are. Ahem, Teacher Liang, please stop talking, Li Yuan coughed quickly. This Liang Jingjing was really a bit outrageous, and she really dared to say anything. Let's eat the cake first. Li Yuan lit the candle and smiled at Chi Siyu. Siyu, please make a wish first. Chi Siyu shyly said clasped her hands together, closed her eyes, started to make a wish, and then blew out the candles. Liang Jingjing curiously joked, Siyu, do you want me to guess what your wish is? Chi Siyu pursed her lips and chuckled, okay, you won't guess it? Liang Jingjing curled her lips and said with a smile, I guess it must be related to Li Yuan, right? Chi Siyu was stunned at first. Then, his face was flushed with a blush, and he glanced at Li Yuan shyly. As expected, I can't hide anything about my little thoughts from my bestie. Hee, I knew it. Liang Jingjing had an expression of I understand you so well, with a cunning look in her eyes, and joked. Would you like me to continue telling you what your specific wish is? Let me think about it. Based on what I know about you, what you must be thinking about is to let Li Yuan finish writing that song for you and then become your real man. Before Liang Jingjing finished speaking, she was quickly blocked by Chi Siyu, who felt guilty. With a shy expression on his face, he murmured. Dai Jingjing, if you keep talking nonsense, I will secretly tickle the soles of your feet at night and itch you to death. Faced with this threat, Liang Jingjing looked frightened as if facing a formidable enemy, and quickly raised her hands to surrender. Okay, I won't say anything anymore, okay. You know, I'm the most ticklish in my life. When I was in love, my boyfriend wanted to kiss me, and I got goosebumps. Chi Siyu chuckled and said, you deserve to be single in this life. Liang Jingjing looked at her best friend looking like a radiant young woman in love, and couldn't help but joke. Siyu, it's different now that you have a boyfriend. He even has the confidence to speak. We clearly agreed to be single together, but you found a boyfriend first, and then you started mocking me. Wow, oh, how sad. Jingjing, I discovered that you are really an actor. You might as well stop being a teacher and go act. Acting? Siyu, how did you know that my previous wish was to be a female star? Tell me, did you eavesdrop on me talking in my sleep? Listening to the two girls bickering, Li Yuan burst into laughter. He quite envied the relationship between Chi Siyu and Liang Jingjing. The happiness of girls is sometimes very simple. They go shopping together, eat together, play together, gossip together, complain about their boyfriends together. As for men, it's different. After entering society, the pressure will suddenly double compared with girls. The pressure from family, work, and life will make most men breathless. Just like in the circle of friends, it is rare to see men checking in and posting photos, while almost all women are posting. He suddenly thought of his two good buddies, Suji and Wang Shui, and didn't know what was going on with them. After Bai Wixi's birthday party that day, Suji and Wang Yuchen officially got together. Although he could probably guess what exactly happened that night. The girl is drunk, the boy has ulterior motives, and they are a couple. If they can't complete a home run and break through the last barrier of the film, this boy might as well become a eunuch. I don't know if little Pepper, who has lost her virginity, will be devoted to Suji in this life. I hope Daji doesn't fall too deep. Li Yuan murmured in his heart that he had a bad impression of Wang Yuchen, so naturally he considered it from the standpoint of a good friend. However, even if the two break up in the end, Suji shouldn't be as regretful as he was in his previous life, right? At the very least, if you have gained it once, it will not be such a pity if you lose it again. This is a common problem and common psychology among men all over the world. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 439. So, before that, He also urged Su Ji to complete the last step as soon as possible and not to drag it on. If you drag it on for too long, it will become a regret. What girls say about slow to warm up is all excuses. How can a sexy, mature, and beautiful queen like Chi Siyu be so proactive and not slow to warm up when facing herself? If a girl says she is slow to warm up, it can only mean that the boy is not attractive enough. As for Wang Shui, Li Yuan heard that he was launching a fierce love offensive against Baiwaxi's classmate Zhou Lei, and he didn't know how it was going. College students have the most free time and the most explosive hormones. Every day, they are full of energy and have nowhere to release it. Except for seeking a mate, it's still seeking a mate. Even around Daxia University, a 985 university, there are all kinds of ghost houses and hotels. Some are very simple renovations of private houses, and they may not even have independent toilets, but they will be full immediately on weekends. It provides a hotbed of love for countless college couples. After the birthday dinner, it was already past 10 o'clock in the evening. Qi Siyu and Liang Jingjing also drank red wine, their faces flushed, especially Liang Jingjing, who was like a wild horse that had broken free from its reins, clamoring and still thinking about continuing to play. Li Yuan looked at the time, hugged Qi Siyu's small waist, felt the touch of her body skin, and could only temporarily suppress the throbbing and expectation in his heart, and continued to accompany the two girls to stroll the street. Suddenly, Li Yuan passed by a bar called Starry Night, and he wanted to see it. Siyu, Jingjing, how about we go to the bar and sit for a while? Listening to Li Yuan's suggestion, Qi Siyu blushed and looked at Li Yuan, her eyes were a little moved, and a little worried. In this era, bars, like in their hearts, have always been synonymous with bad places. Inside, it is full of lust, alcohol, and drugs. Li Yuan, it's late, I feel a little dizzy, or should we not go to the bar? Qi Siyu didn't want to go, but Liang Jingjing was very interested in the bar. She shouted drunkenly. Go to the bar, go to the bar, I want to go to the bar, I want to dance, I want to sing, I want to get high. Li Yuan hugged Qi Siyu and whispered in her ear. Teacher, let's play together for a while. Since Li Yuan had spoken, Qi Siyu no longer refused. She was also a little curious about the bar. She didn't dare to go before, but she was still relieved to follow Li Yuan. At least, Li Yuan would not be like other men who would want to get herself drunk and sleep with her with bad intentions. If Li Yuan wanted to, he would have succeeded long ago after she had given him that, as long as he struck while the iron was hot. Okay, just play for a while, feel the atmosphere, and then we'll go, Qi Siyu agreed. Okay. When you say we'll go, Li Yuan smiled. The bar in the Oriental Pearl TV tower must be a serious bar. At most, there are some romantic encounters. Other bad things will definitely not exist in such a bar. Li Yuan took the two into this starry sky bar. As expected, it was just as imagined, a group of young people were drinking, dancing, and shaking their heads to the rhythm of the DJ's music. Liang Jingjing liked this kind of occasion very much. She danced with many young people on the stage. As for Qi Siyu, it seemed that she didn't like this noisy environment. She hugged Li Yuan's arm tightly, sat with him, and tasted the fine wine here. After sitting for a while, Li Yuan looked at the time. It was about 11 o'clock in the evening, and it was not too early. Siyu, don't you like this atmosphere? Li Yuan took a sip of wine and asked with a smile. Qi Siyu nodded, the atmosphere in the bar is too noisy, and my head is buzzing. I prefer the relaxed atmosphere. I understand. You are worthy of being a music teacher who likes folk songs, Li Yuan replied with a smile. No wonder Qi Siyu likes the folk song Lost Connection with the Gentle Universe so much, and has been thinking about it all the time. Even her birthday wish is related to it. Li Yuan smiled and said, let's go. Your wish may come true tonight. Chi Siyu's beautiful eyes lit up, and the alcohol disappeared instantly. She stared at Li Yuan and asked, Li Yuan, do you have any inspiration today? Li Yuan pinched Chi Siyu's delicate white face and answered meaningfully. It depends on teacher Chi, can you inspire my inspiration? Chi Siyu was about to answer, but suddenly, she understood what Li Yuan meant. She looked at Li Yuan shyly and said in a barely audible way. If it were other boys, in a noisy environment like a bar, they might not hear Chi Siyu's response. But, Li Yuan, he heard it. In an instant, a feeling of expectation surged into his heart, and he hugged Chi Siyu tightly in his arms. Tonight may be another sleepless night? Li Yuan suppressed his excitement, took Chi Siyu to the stage, and found Liang Jingjing who was dancing. Chi Siyu shouted, Jingjing, we should go back. Liang Jingjing was so happy that she muttered, what time is it? Going back. It's past 11 o'clock in the evening. I'm so sleepy, Chi Siyu shook her head helplessly. Tisk. You two don't look like young people at all, Liang Jingjing muttered, and could only be dragged away from the bar by Chi Siyu. After exiting the Oriental Pearl TV tower, Li Yuan didn't even ask Chi Siyu how they were going back. He directly found a driver and followed them to the community where they lived. The community where the two live is located very close to Daxia University, only 3 or 4 miles away. It is an ordinary civilian community. Compared with the communities that Li Yuan bought, there is a certain gap between the environment of the community and that even though it is already past 11 o'clock in the evening, there are still some young talents coming back in the community. The three of them took the elevator together and arrived at the middle room on the 26th floor. When he arrived home, Chi Siyu suddenly became nervous. This is her first time bringing a boy back. Thinking of Li Yuan's identity, Chi Siyu glanced at Li Yuan shyly and whispered. Li Yuan, this is the house that Jingjing and I rent. The house is relatively small and a bit messy. Don't dislike it? Of course Li Yuan would not dislike it and smiled, come in quickly, I'm very curious about what teacher Chi's boudoir looks like. Liang Jingjing drunkenly joked, hey, I think you are more interested in your teacher Chi's body. Chapter 254 Sexy Counselor. Liang Jingjing, you will die if you don't speak. Chi Siyu stretched out his claws and scratched Liang Jingjing. Why would she, a good best friend, expose something that everyone knows well? How embarrassing that seemed. Okay, stop scratching, it's so itchy. I'll just stop talking. Liang Jingjing quickly raised her hands to beg for mercy. Looking at Chi Siyu who looked shy and Li Yuan who looked calm, she continued to murmur jokingly. You two have a pure teacher-student friendship. Neither of you has taken the initiative to throw yourself into your arms, and neither of you has any hidden agenda. Am I right? It's okay that Liang Jingjing didn't say it. After saying this, even someone as open-minded as Li Yuan felt a little embarrassed. Funny, is this guy a person with ulterior motives? Is that necessary? Obviously he is greedy for money and lust, okay. The house Chi Siyu and Liang Jingjing live in is a simple 2-bedroom apartment. As soon as he entered the room and looked at the layout of the room, Li Yuan felt as if he had returned to the scene in the Magic City in his previous life. It's the same 2-bedroom apartment shared with others, but the only difference is probably the environmental hygiene. The rooms of the two female university teachers were obviously much cleaner than the boys' rooms. After Chi Siyu entered the house, she kept staring at Li Yuan closely. Seeing the curious and thoughtful look on his face, Chi Siyu felt slightly relieved. Li Yuan, the environment is a bit rough, don't mind. Chi Siyu's sexy and attractive face was red, not sure whether it was because of shyness or because of being drunk after drinking. You sit down for a while and I'll pour you some tea to relieve your hangover. Li Yuan didn't refuse. He looked at the room carefully, and his memory suddenly returned to the world of his previous life. After being reborn in this life, I have hardly encountered any setbacks. If we really have to count, the only time was when Xiao Yuer suddenly left without saying goodbye and has not been heard from since, as if he had completely disappeared from his own world. However, he could also understand Xiao Yuer's choice. With his emotional outlook and family background, it was impossible for him to accept his favorite man and hug him. But even though she was so sad, she still gave herself the most precious first time. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ru Xiahua. Chapter 440. Li Yuan sighed quietly in his heart. In his previous life, he was heartbroken by so-called love, and in this life, he was also heartbroken by the love of other girls. Liang Jingjing was already slightly drunk. When she saw Li Yuan sitting on the sofa with no intention of leaving, she couldn't help joking. "Mr. Li, it looks like you're not leaving tonight. What do you think?" Li Yuan smiled and asked. "He has come, can he just leave empty-handed? This is not my style at all. After working hard for a long time, I didn't even get a hair. Isn't it a big loss?" Liang Jingjing looked at old god Li Yuan sitting there with an expression of course I won't leave, and pursed her lips and snickered. "I knew that when Siyu asked you to send it, you didn't even refuse. Hee, I'm going to take a shower first. I'll tell you secretly that the bathroom door is broken." Liang Jingjing cast a flirtatious look at Li Yuan, then twisted her body like a water snake and walked towards the bathroom. If you just look at Liang Jingjing's back, you will have a certain feeling of killing from behind. "Don't look at the face, it's still pretty good," Li Yuan muttered in his heart. Liang Jingjing's appearance and figure were probably on the same level as those of the girlfriends he later dated. In this super metropolis with so many beauties, Liang Jingjing could only be considered above average. After a while, the sound of running water came from the bathroom. Through the translucent glass, you can even see the twisting body inside. The bathroom door seemed to be really open, half closed, and Liang Jingjing seemed not to be on guard against him at all. In other words, it has some special purpose. At some point, Qi Siyu came to Li Yuan with a cup of jasmine tea. Seeing Li Yuan looking straight at the figure in the bathroom, his heart felt slightly sour, but he quickly returned to normal. She is still very confident in her appearance and figure. She is such a beautiful woman, so Li Yuan has no reason to look at his best friend. Qi Siyu handed the teacup to Li Yuan and asked casually, "Does it look good?" Li Yuan took the teacup, looked at Qi Siyu's face, his heart moved slightly, and he didn't feel any concealment or guilt at all, and replied seriously, "Not as good looking as you." Putting the teacup on the coffee table, he patted his thigh and signaled to Qi Siyu. Qi Siyu rolled her eyes at Li Yuan with a charming look, sat obediently on Li Yuan's lap, put her arms around Li Yuan's neck, put her mouth close to Li Yuan's ear, and touched it lightly, as if triggering static electricity, the two people's bodies, a current surges through. "Classmate Li Yuan, are you going back tonight?" Li Yuan stretched out his hand to grab a handful of the plump part, and asked with a smile, "Teacher, do you want me to go back?" Qi Siyu stared at Li Yuan, suddenly smiled, and replied with one word, "I want to." Li Yuan used some strength in his arms to hold the beauty in his arms directly close to his, staring into her eyes with a half smile. "Then what if I don't want to go back?" The distance between Qi Siyu and Li Yuan was only a few millimeters, and they could even feel each other's breathing. Qi Siyu was a little flustered, and her heartbeat was accelerating. She knew in her heart that in the afternoon, Liang Jingjing made the call to Li Yuan, and Li Yuan came to celebrate her birthday. After giving such an expensive birthday gift, she could already predict what would happen tonight. She was a little hopeful, a little nervous, a little uneasy, and a little confused. She didn't know whether her choice was right or wrong. With Li Yuan's level of playfulness, he is simply not a good man worthy of being entrusted with his life. He is not dedicated or dedicated. But her heart has been urging her to follow her thoughts while she is still young, to indulge once, and to love someone she shouldn't love. Even after this indulgence, the two of them had no results. However, as long as you have had it before, as long as you have truly loved it, even if you are bruised and bruised in the end, so what? All kinds of messy thoughts flashed through Chi Siyu's mind. Facing Li Yuan's longing and aggressive gaze, she bit her sexy lips, revealing a pair of white teeth, and blinked her beautiful eyes. If you don't go back, you can sleep on the sofa. What about you? Where to sleep? Li Yuan asked back. He felt that this kind of TQ with a girl before the first time was actually more interesting than playing poker. Chi Siyu replied with a smile, "Of course I sleep in the bedroom." Li Yuan pretended to be sad, "It's so sad. I thought you would say, I will sleep on the sofa with you." Chi Siyu snorted, "Huh, don't think I don't know what you want to do." Li Yuan smiled playfully, "Teacher, then you teach me, this student, what I want to do." Listening to Li Yuan's last few words with an accentuated tone, Chi Siyu suddenly couldn't help but tighten her thighs. Her body was slightly hot, and her already blushing face became even more attractive. Li Yuan looked at Chi Siyu's reaction and found it very interesting. This is the feeling, it's right. This feeling of rejection and shyness, that shy expression, can only be vividly reflected when a girl is having sex for the first time. Once you really break through that relationship, communicate from a negative angle, and develop a variety of postures, you won't be so shy anymore. This girl can't pretend even if she wants to. Unless you are from a professional acting department. However, Chi Siyu teaches music. Therefore, there are many scumbags with special fetishes who want to find completely original unopened girls, spend a lot of money, and experience that kind of awkward and shy feeling. Li Yuan lifted Chi Siyu's chin with his fingers and continued to tease, "Teacher Chi, do you think we should do something interesting now?" Chi Siyu stared at Li Yuan with her beautiful eyes, and glanced at the bathroom. She was a little afraid that Li Yuan wanted it now. "What fun things do you want to do?" "A two-player game suitable for opposite sexes, which can not only exercise endurance, but also exercise the body." "Teacher Chi, do you know what this game is?" "Humph, you bastard, I don't know, and I don't want to know." "Teacher Chi, I just asked you a question, how can you scold me? You are my teacher, how can you teach me, a good student, if you don't even know this?" "Tisk, I'm a music teacher, and you haven't taken my class, so you are not your teacher. Be good, call me senior sister. The music teacher can also give me a physiology class, right? Otherwise, Teacher Chi, senior sister Chi, you can work harder and play the guest role of the physiology teacher tonight." "Physiology teacher, you big-headed ghost, a big pervert." "Teacher Chi, you are wronging me. Look, can we use an idiom to describe our current state?" "What idiom?" "Sitting in someone's arms without getting confused." Chi Siyu suddenly pursed her lips and chuckled, boldly stretched out her hand, grabbed Xiao Liyuan, and spoke with a strange look on her face. "Hee, I heard that men can't do it after drinking too much, so you can stay calm, right? How can you bear to be questioned about your ability in that aspect by the beauty in your arms?" Li Yuan looked at the snow-capped mountains and gullies in front of him, took a deep breath, and felt the charm of nature's creation in the fresh air of the snow-capped mountains. After just a few seconds, Li Yuan had already reacted. "Put Chi Siyu's hand on at X again." Li Yuan asked with a smile, "Teacher Chi, what about now?" Chi Siyu's pretty face turned red, and she scratched it hard, feeling a little dry in the mouth. "In my mind, I couldn't help but think of that afternoon in the college student entrepreneurship office. Now, teacher, I'm going to take action now." After Li Yuan finished speaking, he directly hugged Chi Siyu in his arms and reached out to unbutton her clothes. Chi Siyu's tone was a little flustered. No, 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 Jing Jing is still taking a shower, wait a minute. Li Yuan was naturally not so impatient, he just wanted to scare Chi Siyu. He was busy all day looking at houses everywhere, and accompanied Chi Siyu to stroll the streets for several hours. In addition, he drank a little wine. If he didn't wash up, it would be too late. Comfortable, the experience is too bad. Oh, didn't you just say I can't do it? This has to prove it to you. Chi Siyu rolled her eyes at Li Yuan and begged for mercy, I was wrong. You are so good. Li Yuan laughed and joked, haha, whether it works or not is not something you can say with your mouth, but depends on real practice. After all, practice is the only criterion for testing truth, am I right? Tonight, I will let you test whether I can do it or not. Although Chi Siyu is 5 or 6 years older than Li Yuan, her experience in relationships is far behind Li Yuan. Listening to Li Yuan's opening words, he was telling all kinds of jokes with color, and soon, he was teased and blushed.